day, Internet, and welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I am your host for the evening. My name is Advocate of Wordz, and happy Monday to everyone. Let me see the beautiful faces here we got tonight. Oh, yeah. I'm ready for some poetry. I see some people who've signed up on the list, some people that haven't signed up on the list that are here. That is awesome. Shout out to Mr. Chris Lopez for getting this puppy started for us. As always, let us get into it. This is the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, our 83rd Monday Night Online Open Mic, 83 weeks in a row. We have been doing this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are streaming live on the Facebook and YouTube channel of the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. If you would like to see any of our past recordings, our past events online, including tonight's event, you can make sure you go check us out on Facebook and YouTube. And if you are currently watching us on Facebook and YouTube and would like to join us on Zoom, at the bottom of the screen is the number 279-995-364. The number will be on the screen for a little while, but make sure you start to write it down and jump in with us. We'd like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online events. You too can help us with a tax-deductible donation by going to www.neweurekan.org/contribute or in our Cash App, New Eurekan Poets Cafe. Tonight's theme, author. Today is National Authors Day. We are all writers. We are all poets. All poets are authors, though not all authors are poets. Just for you to think about. So that is what our theme is for tonight. If you signed up for tonight and your poem is not on theme, don't worry about it. We're still going to listen to it. You will still have your time. As you will see on the right-hand side of the screen, our upcoming open mic themes, November 8th, cuffing season. The weather is getting cold. Everyone wants to settle down a little. I'm eager to hear what everyone writes about. After that, miracle of kindness. I feel like we need an open mic that just really gives us a lot of hope and inspiration. So as you can see, all of those, the next 2 months, in fact, of themes are up there. You can find all of that on my Instagram and Twitter. You follow me at Advocate of Wordz. And when you spell words, that's with a Z because poetic license, as always. Also got a YouTube channel. Make sure you go check it out. So let's get into some of the rules. Please, poets, when you are performing, turn your camera on. We are looking to simulate an in real life open mic, and we want to see your beautiful faces. We want to see your expressions when you're sharing your words. So make sure when you're rocking to turn your camera on. Please, we want to get through the open mic and to everyone within a timely manner. So have your poem ready. Don't wait here until I call you and then you have it. Make sure you get it ready so that when we're ready to call you and you're ready to jump into it, you can. Poets, you have 3 minutes to perform, not 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes. And also, we do ask that you please keep your introductions to a minimum 30 seconds. Let the people know where they can find you online. After they hear your poetry, they're going to want to give you a follow. Make sure you're clear about that. Also, we're going to make sure that those of you on Zoom, if you want to change your name, and in the bottom, you want to include your social media handle so that the people can see it, make sure that you do that as well. In terms of censorship, put the kids to bed. You know, I came across this article about the New Eurekan Poets Cafe in the early days in the 1970s, and they were running this thing called the Open Room, and they had no censorship. They just went balls to the wall. So I'm continuing that tradition. No censorship, put the kids to bed. After our poets perform, you're going to see this message. The host would like you to unmute. You click that blue button, get really loud and obnoxious, piss off your neighbors, but you're going to help our poets. So I think that's good enough. Hybrid, November 20th is our next hybrid event. That will be in about 3 weeks from now, a little less than 3 weeks. Of course, we've got 2 under our belt. I'm really excited about this. This is when half of the open mic is going to be performing inside the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, and the other half is going to be joining us via Zoom. And those who are rocking on Zoom are on the big projector in the New Yo, and we get to watch you rock out at home. But it's like a cinematic experience for us over here. That is November 20th. And of course, 2 venues, 1 mic. Holy cow, folks. Holy cow. You have no idea what's been going on behind the scenes and how long we have been working on this. Today, I'm going to introduce you to who we are going to be working with in Paris. November 14th is when we kick off this new series. So there is a lot to talk about that. Of course, shout out to Mariela Salazar, who is doing so much work behind the scenes and who had initiated this and dropped the seed for this. So we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. But right now, we are going to get to some poetry. With that being said, kicking it off is Mr. Jeff Cottrell, the evil twin of Mr. Jeff Cottrell. Or maybe it's the good twin. I don't know, with the beard now. Brother, you know the deal.
I got the Spock beard, I guess. So I'm in the other universe.
I'm here for it. How does Pinky feel about it?
I don't know. Pinky, how do you feel about it? Pinky doesn't give a fuck.
There we go. No censorship. Jeff, take it away, brother.
Okay, here's something on theme. The Canadian Book Awards. Welcome, one and all, to the Canadian Book Awards for 2021. The Canadian Book Awards serves to award the books that the Canadian literary establishment likes. We seek to promote Canadian values and Canadian themes to which all Canadians relate in a perfectly Canadian way. In Canada. Our first prize at the Canadian Book Awards this year goes to When Crying Bears Shudder in the Wind, which is a quiet, subtle coming-of-age story about the immigrant experience in the slums of Toronto. Our second prize at the Canadian Book Awards for 2021 goes to The August of Her Soul, which is a quiet, subtle coming-of-age story about the immigrant experience in the Westmount neighborhood of Montreal. Our third prize for 2021 at the Canadian Book Awards goes to The Raspberries Are in Season Again, Papa, a quiet, subtle coming-of-age story about the immigrant experience in rural Saskatchewan. Our fourth prize this year at the Canadian Book Awards is going to Verily Must the Watchmen Leer at Sunset, a quiet, subtle coming-of-age story about the immigrant experience in the downtown East Side area of Vancouver. The Canadian Book Awards also has a category for poetry. Our first prize for poetry at the 2021 Canadian Book Awards goes to With Vulnerable Roses Do I Sweep the Curtained Walls, a collection of quiet, subtle coming-of-age poems about the immigrant experience in St. Thomas, Ontario. And seeing that we have some extra time, let us go over the list of books that are not getting any recognition from the Canadian Book Awards. We are not giving a prize to that popular book about the space aliens and the serial killer who terrorize an affluent suburb. Nor are we giving any awards to that fascinating experimental short story collection that breaks new ground in structure and language. The Canadian Book Awards is also not giving a prize to that really funny book that viciously satirizes timeless universal human foibles, nor to that scathing character study that takes bold artistic risks, nor to that passionate historical romance with the vivid war scenes, nor to that sprawling epic about the eccentric family that changed the world, nor to that moving, tear-jerking story about the boy and the dog and the mysterious stranger. And we are definitely not giving a prize to that quiet, subtle coming-of-age story about the immigrant experience in the suburbs of Halifax, but which is also very entertaining. Good God, no. That completes the list of all the books that were published in Canada this year. To close this year's ceremony, we present our annual series of Lifetime Achievement Awards. Our first 2021 Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Margaret Atwood. Our second 2021 Lifetime Achievement Award also goes to Margaret Atwood. Our third 2021 Lifetime Achievement Award is a tie, a four-way tie between Michael Ondaatje, Shane Koizan, Paul Vermeersch, and Margaret Atwood. Our fourth 2021 Lifetime Achievement Award goes to the rotting corpse of Leonard Cohen, which we have dug up just for the honor. To commemorate this award, we are delighted to treat you to a special musical performance, an exclusive 4-hour and 23-minute version of Mr. Cohen's Hallelujah, performed on the ukulele by Margaret Atwood. Thank you for attending the 2021 Canadian Book Awards. Every one of our attendees will receive a generous gift bag of craft dinner, hockey pucks, and winter depression. Go, Leafs! That was the Canadian Book Awards.
Unmute
Oh my
yourself.
God.
That was great, Jeff. Nice.
Great job.
Tell you what, my
Also
favorite Jeff piece.
stellar.
I love that piece so much.
Thank you so much.
Jeff Cottrell. Make sure you go check out his website, jeffcottrell.com. When you spell Cottrell, that is with 2 L's at the end. Make sure you go check him out. I love that poem. He rocked that for us once before. I love it. I love it. All right, real quick. I had mentioned to include our open mic list for tonight. As you can see, those in the yellow are either new voices or voices we haven't heard from in a while. So we just started with Jeff Cottrell, and now Haley Veith is next. I hope I'm saying her last name right. Haley Veith. Where is Haley? Oh, here we go. Oh, wait a second. I've seen Haley perform before. Wait, were you here on the Monday night or was it Thursday night?
Monday night.
Okay, yeah, I've seen you rock before. Oh, folks, we in for a treat. I remember the last time you came on, you killed it. Wait, someone brought you on. Who had brought you on?
Noelia is my poetry wife, and she brought me here.
That's what's up. And Noelia is a beast too. Okay, Haley, and I'm sorry about sending out with your two last names in the
You're
email.
fine. I might just make it my new nickname. I don't know.
All right, good. It's Veith. All right, Haley, the floor is yours. Oh, and let the people know where they can find you online.
My name in Zoom is my poetry handle on Twitter and Instagram, although I am terrible at Twitter, but please come follow. I'm excited to be here. And yeah, this piece is a little anti-love letter to purity culture, and it's called Becoming Hester Prynne. As soon as we started to bud, my best friend's carefully buttoned mother took us to church and said a prayer in the summer parking lot before handing us over to the den mothers. When they caught us playing MASH on our sermon notes, they decided it was time to plant a new seed under their heel as they told us of the tragedy that eventually claims all good Christian girls that think they know better. Act 1. All split ends and tripped over sneakers, a boy picks up our textbooks one day and carries us through the fall. We watch rom-coms together and kiss when our parents turn their backs, and eventually he breaks up with us on a Wednesday using a hallway whisper between first and second period. The mothers pause as if to say, this is the part of the story where our love-sick growing pains decide to break our petals apart for him. And that every time we cleave ourselves in two and let a boy glimpse inside, a crimson ribbon will twist around our wrists and bind our bodies together forever. Act 2. Somewhere between a trigger finger wink and leather-stitched intentions, we will find a way to redefine summer love with a boy who teaches us how to spit like Jackpot Rose. He'll wear melancholy like a shadow and line his eyes in charcoal just like art, and before too long, he'll find another muse to ride shotgun through his rebellion. The mothers paint him villain with more red than all the others, their voices thick and drama while brandishing their best cautionary smiles as they watch our lofty chins wobble with the realization of how badly this one hurts, how far the fall is when another ribbon snakes around our wrist. Act 3. At some secular state college, we will become experts at losing our way. We'll tip back amber gulps from a shoe and dance on tables like wind chimes blowing in a storm, and every talking polo shirt with a kernel of audacity between his teeth will think he is worthy as they grin and stir their drinks and find us unwise. The mothers are adamant that we will be the kind of girls who wanted it to happen, always skin tight and blushing in hallways, welcoming this ritual to the front door of our bodies again and again, each time a scarlet ribbon cataloging its weight on our candy-striped wrists. Act 4. After years of preying on empty bar stools, we find a man, graduated and sensible enough to be in search of a woman with the perfect sized hand for an oven mitt. So we put on the pearls and smile and say all the right things we were once taught by wise women about timidity, about meekness, about obedience. Only then will we inherit our happy ending. But there is no happy ending for sluts, the den mothers explain, because on our wedding nights, gathered at our wrists will be every man that came before, and no proper husband will see value in a wife, dog walking a horde of lovers bound in red satin ribbons. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for
Maybe,
Haley.
Haley, very nice.
Yes.
Good job. I love the oven mitt sign.
Great
Love
piece.
Go give her a follow at Poetry by Haley. That was a story and a half. I loved it. Poetry by Haley. Make sure that you go give her a follow. Next coming up is, I know I'm not supposed to have favorites, but she's one of my favorites. And that is Diane Ward. Let me unmute Diane. Diane, it is always a pleasure to see you. How are you this evening?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you? I guess you're doing fine.
Oh, I'm doing much better now that I see you. So you know the deal. The floor is yours.
Yes.
And I will be
Thank
watching and listening.
I know. I did the word author and anagram 3 times because I don't have a favorite author other than maybe I have a Turkish author that I really enjoy. Orhan Pamuk. I really enjoy his books. But other than that, listen to this. Anonymous is my favorite author. Anonymous. Unleashed knowledge they possess, thorough in their depth of wisdom and worldly advice. How easily they share their experiences. Oh, I sometimes wonder if I could ever truly encompass all they have to offer in my short life. I revel in the truths they seem to expose. 2. Anyone can learn from Anonymous. Unless you think you know everything already. True. I am always open to learning. Has that been every time or not always or often? The tabula rasa, the clean slate I try to wake, unbiased each day, refuses to adjust to my limited intelligence. 3. Aha, my ego, once abated, unleashes the truth serum needed to accept thoughts, ideas, equations, theories I had not heard of as yet. Holding fast to old beliefs or biases keeps people from expanding, or else they'll never grow the way they're supposed to. Really, all I can ever hope is that maybe someday we'll become authors that are quoted, beloved, and often spoke. Thank you.
Ooh, give it up for Diane Ward.
Nice,
Yes,
Diane.
ma'am.
Very nice.
Yes, Diane.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Thank
love
you.
having Diane
Oh.
Ward be part of this community. I love how she went with it, anonymous. Now, Diane Ward does a lot of work also at the Bronx Arts and Fun Hub. My dyslexia is horrible, people. Forgive me. She does a lot of work. I know she does a lot of workshops. She is coming. She rocked at Wild Poets with us, one of our in-person open mics, and she is a mainstay here. Love having her. And this is a great segue real quick before we go to DG Clear and who's next, for me to give some time for my co-host to give a shout out, let the people know where they can find him, and that is Ron Mark Thompson from the Bronx Art and Fun. Oh, my. Go ahead, Ron. Just save me here, brother. Save me.
That's perfectly okay. If I had known how much trouble that word gives, when I founded it 2 years ago, that is so much fun. Yeah, but thank you so much, Advocate. Yes, Diane and I actually will lead our next Equestric Poetry and Prose free creative writing session this Thursday with John Maney as the photographer. I'll put that in the chat. You can follow me at Ron Mark Thompson or Bronx Art and Fun Up, BXAFH at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'll put that in the chat. Thank you again, Advocate, for allowing me to help you out today. I appreciate it. And looking cool with your hoodie, in your head today, by the way. Not bad. Thank you.
Ron Mark Thompson, make sure that you go check him out. He's got his hands in a lot of cookie jars too. Also, when I talk about hybrid, he has been one of the heroes helping me out behind the scenes. And I just want to give a shout out to everyone in the, you know what? I'm going to talk about that later. Because right now I want to hear some DG clearing. Let me unmute my former wingman, DG Clearing. He too big for me now. They got the newspapers writing about him. They getting like 1 million views. I don't think I've gotten 1 million views total in everything I've done. They do an interview on him, they get it. DG, you know the deal.
Thanks,
Floor is
Advocate.
yours.
First, I'd like to congratulate you on your Princeton gig. That's pretty darn neat. So good job. Yeah. You can find me at Facebook at DG Clearing or WFOP Poets in Wisconsin. I've got one poem for you tonight. Hot chocolate that steams. I mow your lawn and rake your leaves. In the winter, shoveling snow that's higher than my knees. You always invite me in for cookies and cream, a tall glass of lemonade, a hot chocolate that steams. I'm just a junior at the age of 16 and a reporter for my high school newspaper, The Resorter. Sitting at your table, I don't know why you tell me the screams of your dreams. You're a beautiful woman with a slight smirk in your smile and that abandoned stare. I sink into the mesmerizing fantasies of my bloom. Then telling me how you lost your baby and the 3 bullets that killed your partner. Your voice, it's so captivating. With voided emotions in your candor and hinged words, you describe how your father beat you and Pastor Carol soothed your soul by having you in the rectory. And that there are no more tears for the living or the dead. If only you could hang yourself from the rafters of the steeple. After every visit, I write it all down. The horrid, whimpered wailings of her mind. Mom and Dad said she will always be in despair. My friends saying she is a witch and you shouldn't go over there. Who do you go to find help when no one cares? I wrote the story and called it The Screams of a Dream. Now I'm a published author with an ending of Mrs. Jacobish hanging from the church's spired tower, ringing the bell, a toll for all to see. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to DG.
DG bringing it.
Very nice.
DG bringing
Appreciate it,
it.
everybody. Thank you so much.
Bringing some intensity with that, going to dark places. I love it, man. I hate that art that there are people who are tormented, but I love their writing. I see a kinship in DG Clear, me and him, tormented artist. All right, let's keep it moving. Next coming up, part of the reason I'm tormented is because poets and performers like this next artist exist. They have the voice for radio and the jawline for a Hollywood blockbuster. The things that are unattainable to me, and that is Anthony Misiano. Just listening to him talk. Go ahead, Anthony.
Hi, how are you? Very good to see you. You're a very handsome man yourself. What's funny is I realized if we had a love child, he would look like Jeff Goldblum. Do you see it? Sort of your eyes and brow and cheeks, but with my nose and lips. We would have a beautiful baby.
I walked into that. Get Anthony. Let the people know where they can find you online. And
Sure.
you got 3 minutes to do your
Sure, they
poetry.
can find me. They can find me on Instagram at Howdy Anthony. And I know I'm a day late, but I thought I wanted to do something kind of fun for Halloween to hopefully make us all feel like little kids again. So here we go. I'm going to highly recommend that you close your eyes and just listen. There's a reason the microphone is so close. So just close your eyes, A little Halloween time here. And just go back to being a little kid. There's a rumble in the basement. There's a tremble in the walls. There's the sound of something drumming, humming, coming down the halls. There's the sense that all around me is a presence growing near, and a constant reappearing, leering, nearing sense of fear. How the windows always rattle when the wind owes me a thrill, and the wind blows in a quaking, shaking, making me quite ill. For the thoughts that always haunt me only surface in the night. I begin to try unnerving, undeserving flights of fright, and although I try to realize it is not under my bed, there's a never-ending battle that'll rattle in my head. When the shadows from my curtains paint their shapes throughout my room, I cannot refrain from thinking I am sinking toward my tomb. And my blinking keeps me linking all my nightmares to my eyes. Now I'm hiding under sheets, defeat, it greets me with its lies. How I dread the thought that daybreak may not ever come at all, while I lay here in my bedding, heading, dreading what will fall. Like a rumble in the basement, like a presence growing near, like the rattle at the window, I know I show oh so clear, that the constant creaking, shrieking sounds I cannot help but fear do affirm my nightmares waking, taking over me with fear. I fucked up one of the last lines and the rhyme got messed up. It's supposed to be the sounds I cannot help but hear. Do affirm my nightmares waking, taking over me with fear. But imagine if you will. I'm so sorry. So close.
Unmute yourselves and give it
That
up.
was
That
fun
was
and
so
good,
freaking
Anthony.
dope.
Thank
That
you.
was so
Yeah,
That
great.
was
Tell us, it was so perfect
amazing.
already.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that was great.
I
That
tracked the finish
Edgar
line.
Allan Seuss here. That's
was fun.
Edgar Allan Seuss. I loved it. It's okay. I mean, with the perfect jawline, the perfect voice, and then being able to like cartoonish voice and like out host me when I'm hosting. I see you, Anthony. I see you. And I'm going to see Anthony on November 14th. He is rocking at 2 venues, 1 mic. We got to talk about that later. Him in that awesome voice. Love it. Okay. We're going to leave the open mic for a little bit. Anthony has scared us in the open mic, so we're going to leave it. And we're going to head into the skip verse with the OG Paul Skip. Paul, I've been meaning to hit you up, and I'm sorry I haven't. Are you going to be available November 14th?
For you and whatever purposes you have in mind, although I'll qualify that, yes.
Okay, awesome. Because we're looking to take over the government. And we're going to use Anthony Misiano as a pawn, as a sacrificial. No, I'm joking. I want you to rock at 2 venues, 1 mic. Of course, I need the OG there. I'll hit you up later. But you know how it is. Let the people know where they can find you online and then rock out, brother.
Well, thanks for that. I'll hit you up later, too. Skiff Graham on Instagram if you want to find recent postings. Just reading a short bit out of a much longer piece. It's vaguely, this part is about 2 people tussling over who's really authoring the moment. It's way out of context and won't make any sense, but maybe you get into the poetry. She responded, "Your private need makes this individuality unthinkable. That is the first thing you will give up to be here. Yours is the composite body, ranked and invaded from outside. Even your organs do not belong to you. Your nakedness betrays you. In your phallus lives my ancestral presence, a memorial place I have set aside. I am not an object you acquire in a narrative that has become overabundant like those you passed through today, episodic, meaningful. This blank instant is not overloaded by me. You want the world shrunk as your circumstance has expanded, but experience of nowhere is not a tight fit. What you see as order disrupted by me to fulfill your need of conflicts, over-organized by how simple you have imagined me to be, is not what you think it is. We are in transit here among our way of looking at a world we have not learned to comprehend, but which will only make sense once we populate private geography with a life of absences. Then we will be able to change the image of what we no longer are. I stare at the coil mimicked by her hand as my fluid jumps to repeatedly strike my eyes in the mirror. She is singing, "Your ripeness has no vision." I can no longer speak to define the effect of disintegration my sight has on monopoly of blindness. She is singing, "You are the prisoner of my viewpoint." What spread upon the mirror before us was part man, part unclean spirit. She is singing, "Those to whom this cleansing is a story tonight on the computer converge upon you as though you were savory or their causeless hate. You rob their attention from the world to pop open their passivity, every one of them listening to you on the computer. They peel you up and wear you. When she stops, it feels like a decision that cuts my throat. I'm not sure who is living this into life. The resource for my feelings now is the natural course of events. I try to describe to myself what kind of mental structure is the bridge between my phallus and her hand. Inside my emotions, I am over this span, crossing away from objects that confuse choice and purpose, wanting me to reduce myself to them. This is when I realize I'm on the frontier of the permissible, deciding between spontaneity and chance. I am so reflected upon the entire surface of my body. My own place in the room is not made of me by being here, but by distance between each object. I become what happens, so I do not occupy time and space like a thing does. Which one is more real? Which one is more real? Reverberates the mirror twice, interrogating, decoding the eye's own purpose for light to provide brainwashing. That is a kind of question love. Ow. The city disappears, pulled away from me by vision, as though it were a blistering wind.
Unmute yourselves. Give some love to
Yeah.
Mr. Paul.
Skip Duncan again.
Nice
Incredible Skip.
background.
Thank
That was
you.
amazing.
Well,
So dope.
loving that. Yeah,
Didn't go.
you're so appreciated.
Take us on a trip. Skiffgram or paulskiff.com. When you spell skiff, that is with 2 F's. So OG at the New York, man. He didn't just see it on TV or hear about it on the radio. He was there. Make sure you give that man a follow and check him out. Whoa, spooky. Paul con queso without any facial hair? What are you doing to me, dude? Just saw him on my Zoom. Shout out to Paul con queso. I don't usually drink, but when I do, it's because he's putting a drink in my hand. All right, let's keep it moving. Next coming up is, where's Kawana James? Miss Attitude. Shout out to Ron Bredner. I see him here. He's always checking this out, dropping some poetry into the chat. Oh, here she is. I was about to catch an attitude because I didn't see my Miss Attitude. I was like, where is she at? This woman brings energy, folks. She's not in the Bronx, but she is from the Bronx. I'm trying to unmute you. She's just trying to get me to have some more attitude. She's like, if you want Miss Attitude, there we go.
Here I
Unmute
go.
you.
How y'all doing tonight?
Good, good. Let the people
Good.
know where they can find you online. And then
I'm on
floor is
Facebook
yours.
under Kawana James. That's simple. I have 2 short pieces. I'm going to read the first one first and let me know if I have time. The first one is called Timeshare. Single women versus married women. It shouldn't be a competition, and it isn't. We're all in the same situation, situationally. We all want male companionship, something hard to grip on those cold winter nights when it gets dark and we turn off the lights, or sometimes we keep the lights on. That's a turn on. Whether it's dark or bright, we enjoy the night. And in the early mornings, just before sunrise, have you rising up in great spirits, sore and smiling about it. What more should I say except we all want a man in our life, or at least in our bed, and the men oblige, tell us all kinds of lies that we know are lies sometimes, and it doesn't change our minds about sleeping with them. Women are women, everywhere the same, full of shame, full of blame, full of game. Being a woman is complicated. You can't assume anything is true. You learn truth is elusive. She hides. She has to, because people will beat her up and let lies ride. Single women versus married women. It makes no difference because we're not different. We're the same with the same men, single and married men. There's only so many of them, and we share. I don't like it either, but there's truth in it, and I'm not fighting truth for being true. I'm calling a truce. Peace and blessings, Miss Attitude.
Yeah, you got one more minute. If
I do.
you got another poem for
It's
a minute,
very
go
short.
ahead.
It's
All
called
right.
Standing in What You Believe in. Cancel culture? No, I'm not canceling anything. Have your romances, take your chances. At least try while you balance all kinds of bullshit that people throw at you. I'm not dodging or ducking your fucking ass no more. Cancel? Who are you canceling? You'll be canceled next. It can go into X, Y, and into infinity, telling others and me how to think, how to be. Open your mouth. Someone gonna be mad regardless. Can't have opinions, pushing you down into a minion, not having it, not doing it. So cancel that. Peace, Miss Attitude.
Unmute yourself, give some love to Miss Attitude.
Putting that hot,
that.
hot shit,
There you
girl.
go.
That's
Nice,
always
nice,
serving
nice.
that.
Hey,
Fire.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm trying to stay on this good woman's side. She's from the Bronx. Love it, love it. Miss Attitude, Kawana James on Facebook. Go check her out. Or, of course, come keep checking us out here on the Monday night online open mic. Yeah, she gave me the X. She turned the video on just to get the X. I love it. She's a mainstay here. I love having her on. I love having her energy. Next, coming up is another person whose energy I love, because we encourage his behavior, because we appreciate his behavior, and that is Propaganda Poet. Brother, you know the deal. Let us know where we can find you online, and then rock out.
well, damn, like the bar has been set so high at this point. I just hope I can jump up and grab onto it and hang onto it for a minute. So I'm going to try, well, for 3 minutes, I guess. So here's, as an author, I figured I would give you a preview of my upcoming book, the title of which was inspired by one amazing Noelia Cerna. So this is a preview of my upcoming book, Word Tornadoes. And the first piece is a found poem collaboration by Andy Mercat and Lacan, and I don't think they know they wrote it, but I put together the words that they said when they were talking to Paul Conquesto. This is called Man Up, a found poem collaboration by Andy Mercat and Lacan. The pain that you produce is the capitalism of your body. Quite frankly, I have more life to live. Today, I will choose a different way. Breaking toxic masculinity, one I love you at a time, we carry the divine. So those are a couple of my favorite authors. So there's a poem that they wrote and they don't even know they wrote it. So here we go. Without further ado, here are some word tornadoes for you. Here we go, about 2.5 minutes. Ode to America. Crescent moon reminds me of you. A sliver of hope disappearing in darkness. Next. We got a labor shortage, y'all. 9 lives lost to the cost of living. 8 days of work week, never done. 7 times survival screams. 6 souls cannot be saved. 5 more left alive. 4 bodies found. 3 ran down. 2 left. 1. Next. Divided we fall. An American haiku. Freedom isn't free. That's the whole fucking point of masks and vaccines. Next. Immortal mortality. Before, 'tis in the age when birthdays become a countdown instead of a count up, that one must recognize that forever may not be quite as long as perpetually advertised. After, we are all just boneyard body bags wandering to and fro, caging concealed spirits wondering when we'll let them go. Next, forever moments. Lips on skin, we invent sin. Our whispers waltz within the wind. We slide the sky, the stars go shy. The moon so soon cries, try. Try to hide what dreams inside. Pretend we fear this ride. To excite the fight, we'll steal sun's light and let what may decide. Next, a Halloween love poem. Trick or treat, you're so sweet, but I have diabetes. You see, loving you is like eating deep fried Twinkies, slowly hardening my arteries and seizing my heart. Next, red flags at night. Your kisses may be poison, but as I lie here dying, I can see music and hear colors. Next, unentitled. I wanted to write a poem, but I couldn't find a metaphor more apropos than modern day Nero's looking down on us all from space, just watching while the entire world burns. Next, in lieu of true leadership, the desire to be an apex predator does not an alpha male make. Next, patriotic Christian family, a found poem. No handouts, America. Get a job. Find Jesus. Collateral damage. I used to wear my traumas like war paint until I realized people just took that as a challenge. And then the last one. Spoken word poetry at Monday Night New Yo online open mic saved my life. Every time I spill my sunshine, you bring flowers to my darkness. In a world that is far too ugly, far too often, your beauty keeps me alive. Thank you for letting me a part of your universe. Thank you for encouraging my behavior.
Give it up for
Propaganda, so
propaganda.
good. Looking forward to your book.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Very
propaganda.
exciting.
Yes. Always bringing all of that beauty. Thank you.
Propaganda.
Propaganda poet. That was like awesome. I was like, listen, I built this whole cinematic universe and I'm going to give you a bunch of trailers in 2.5 minutes. Bap, 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 bap. And propaganda poet, he's definitely got the kind of energy that we want here in the Monday Night Online Open Mic. And for those of you who came a little late, this is the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, hosted by me, Advocate of Words. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Advocate of Words. When you spell words, that's with a Z, because poetic license. We're streaming every single Monday for 83 weeks in a row, and hopefully for another 83 weeks and more. Every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. If you would like to see Propaganda's poet again, or anyone else who has performed before or is going to perform later, you can find the recording on Facebook and YouTube, including all of our past open mics. Tonight's open mic list is closed. Sign up begins 24 hours before the show on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. To sign up, you would go to neweurekan.org and you'll click on full events calendar. When you get there, you would click on the date that you're signing up for. So next week, it would be the 8th. And then you would get an artist RSVP ticket. If it's not on the screen, that means it hasn't opened up yet. It doesn't open up until 24 hours before the show. Hybrid, November 20th. We're going to talk about that later, okay? I promise you we're going to get to it. Also, 2 venues, 1 mic. We're going to talk about that later, probably in about another 40 minutes or so. And the reason I'm also bringing this up too is, and I mentioned how Propaganda Poet has the right kind of energy that we're looking for, is because we have a great community here. And because of the great community that we have here, I have been given the power and the ability and the energy to be able to go forth and do a bunch of different type of experimental open mics. And that is because of y'all. And what we're trying to build here is not just a community of poets, but a community of poetry connoisseurs, people who are like, yo, I want to be heard, but I want to hear some stuff too. And I'm going to get more into that when I speak about what Hybrid and 21 is, because all of it is being built off of the back of the Monday Night Online Open Mic community. And also, of course, the Thursday Night Online Open Mic, which is hosted by La Bruja. That's the mothership. That actually started about, I think, 3 weeks before the Monday Night Online Open Mic. So much love to La Bruja. You can follow her at La Bruja NYC. When you spell Bruja, it's with a J, not an H. Next coming up is another person who very much embodies the spirit of this community, and that is Ida Younger. She actually got to rock out and did such an awesome job at the last Hybrid. So many people were like, I didn't realize she was that good. Like, she killed it. And she was just coming to give support. She was just like, hey, Wordz, you got space so I could come, you know, cheer it up and stroke the egos of all these poets and give them their flowers. And I was like, not only can you come, I got a spot opened up. You want it? And she jumped on it and murdered it. Loved it. Let the people know where they can find you online and then spit your fire. We ready for you.
Wow, thank you so much. IE the number 2 Adorn on IG. Here we go. I wrote to the theme, and by the way, advocate, because I literally just started writing with you guys. So literally, I feel like every time I come on, it's just like new shit. I just need to change my name to new shit. All right. I keep crying for love, but it won't wipe my tears. Just the thought of dictating my expressions to you makes me weak. Yearning to get in between the sheets to sow my innermost mysteries, my audaciously scandalous, mind-bending, fantastic propositions. It is in these sheets that I have planned and scripted my master plan to the light through the darkest tunnels of my life. I gaze into the depths of the phenoms of my wondrous soul to find myself, to hope, meditate, pray, dream, work, and then you springboard my being into action in order that I may set it off on the left, y'all, set it off on the right, y'all, set it off. It is said that the pen is mightier than the sword, but I dare to say that the ink blots of my tears in my pen is even mightier than love. For love is nothing until published, molded, and articulated out of these pages. Author and architect of life, truly my highest power, I surrender my all in all to your blank page, new slate, the point of creation where ballpoint meets script. It is in these sheets where I dwell in possibilities and wonder. These pages have wiped away and rescued me from my silence and disappointments. The damn if I do, damn if I don't, valiant efforts of talking to the moon, trying to get to you. And the notarized receipts of all we courageously stepped out of these sheets to live the word is bond out loud. And peace.
Well, mute yourself. Give this
Okay,
a
boys.
Thank you.
Killed it.
Thank you guys.
Okay,
Bravo,
Get it.
bravo.
Thank you guys.
Good job.
Thank you guys.
Any younger, make sure that you put your info into the chat so that people can copy and paste. And if I didn't say it before, every time you guys perform, make sure you check the chat. People are always saying nice things about you, and they're not unmuting themselves and they're not interrupting. Well, that's because they can't. So that you have the floor, but still they're typing in the chat. Make sure that you go check it out. Let's keep it moving. All right. Now we have a voice that I know I haven't heard before. Sal King. Where is Sal King?
Hello.
Yeah, oh, Sal from
Yeah, it's
Princeton.
me. Yeah,
DG
you have heard
Clearing.
me before, actually.
Yes, I have. DG
Yeah.
Clearing had mentioned how I rocked out at Princeton University earlier, and I got to meet some awesome students who were like, I'm interested in doing more. And I was bragging about y'all. And Sal is one of them. I was leaving Sal. I was like, wait, before you go, we got to talk. Sal got some lines. Sal, so this is how we do. You let the people know
Right.
where you can find where they can find you online if you want to share your social media, and you got 3 minutes to rock out. It is awesome to see you and your hair again. Go ahead. floor is
Yeah,
yours.
this is so great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was at Advocates Princeton gig the other day, and Advocate, I just need to say again, you and your team absolutely killed it. We were talking about your food poem for days, especially. Some mixed opinions on that one, but you absolutely killed it on Thursday. And yeah, happy to be here. All right. Since the theme today is author, I thought I would do one of the first poems I ever wrote, which is so new to be able to go back to this one. So yeah, here's the poem. How to sever ties with the culture. Change your name. Shed it like strands of hair. It's nothing but a loose rope attaching you to lifeless kin, and you are tied to it, hanging by your neck. What is a name if not a tooth to frame in gold? What is a name if not a noose? Sit and marvel at the little habits you have unknowingly inherited from your grandmother. Notice how you both always tuck your hair behind your ears, how you both eat rice multiple spoonfuls at a time, and how you both grow quiet in front of your father. Learn how to overcome each one. Feel your blood growing more and more diluted with each stride you take away from her arms. Visit your birthplace. Small house on a hill where you are idolized for your English and worshipped for your French. The still foreign sounds that have inhabited your mouth, like birds nesting between a dead predator's jaws. Tell me again how to roll my R's and not stay stiff. Your family is nothing but a pack of vultures feasting on your tongue. Listen calmly as they tell their young. You must grow up to be just like her. Do not try and correct their mistakes. After all, they are your aunts and uncles, and it is simply impolite to point out how they are ruining their children's lives. After all, they are merely doing what they were raised to. This is generations upon generations of learning how to destruct soft souls in the most efficient way. And who are you to think you can fix that? Visit your birthplace. Visit your birthplace and reunite with your old friends. Examine their mannerisms. Look, there is a boy with soil for hands. Look how tightly wrapped around his roots they are. Look, there is a woman with compasses for eyes. Study their infallible orientation in excruciating detail. You wish you could be her. Or you wish you could be born again. In a hometown you don't wish you could amputate. In a place that makes you feel safe. Thank you so much.
I knew
Thank you, Sal. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was good
No,
first.
Yes.
Thank
One
you.
of
Wow.
us.
Sal, Kang, Sal, you heard the people chanting one of us. That means they want you back. That means you gotta come back. That's it, Sal. I don't know what you do on Mondays, but except I know what you do now. You're gonna come hang out with us. Sal, Kang. And here's something really interesting too, is that Princeton is going to be one of the venues we work with in terms of 2 venues, 1 mic. So sometime in early 2022, we are going to be working with them. And I believe Sal is going to wind up being one of the poets. I don't know. Princeton is deciding all of that. I'm speaking with Tennille. So Sal, you know who Tennille is. Make sure that you butter up to Tennille so that you can get on that list. But yes, we are going to be rocking with Princeton University. And they had some awesome poets there, including Sal. I'm so happy Sal came on. Sal, King, Sal, put your info in the chat so people can give you a follow as well. Let's keep it going. Next up is, we got a beast here. Noelia Cerna. Noelia is going to start to like maybe be upset with me because like I'm always like raising the bar with Noelia. Like, Noelia is dope. It's going to be so great. And Noelia's like, come on, man. I got like, it's tiring to keep bringing the best of the best. Leave me alone, Wordz. Noelia, it is always good to see you. Let the people know where they can follow you online. And then the floor is yours.
Thank you, Advocate. Hey, everybody. You can find me at nevertheless_Noelia at Instagram. Happy to be back. Okay, so this is a long title one, so let's just get into it. Title. The one where I work for a church of rich white folks during a pandemic and during the dystopian bullshit that is 2020, and wonder while I update their prayer list what mine would look like if God and I were still cool. I would tell God that maybe he shouldn't have said that one thing about not giving us more than we can handle, because I can't handle any more of this shit, and he and I both know it. I would tell him about the white woman in the congregation that didn't apologize when I corrected the way she had been spelling my name wrong for 10 months, despite it being in every conceivable location and spelled correctly. I would talk to him about the audacity of white women on full display when she did not acknowledge the correction or apologize, and then sent the next half dozen emails to me without using my name at all, as if I had somehow written myself out of existence by daring to correct her. I would tell him about the way my white boss loves to talk about his mission trips to Honduras. Because what white Christian doesn't love using poor brown kids like Instagram filters? I would tell God about the way my white boss only cares about poor brown kids when he can use them to brighten up his image while ostracizing me for speaking out against racism in the workplace, because once you speak up, you are no longer useful as a photo prop. Instead, you become angry and problematic, and they can't have a filter that talks back. A filter that won't cover their blemishes, that won't cover the years of inherent privilege that they refuse to acknowledge. I would ask him to take me back to the time before July of 1994, before the plane and the immigration paperwork, and the day in the room where I raised my 7-year-old hand to be sworn into a country that I didn't realize hated me simply for the color of my skin or because of the Spanish in my mouth, back to a time when I didn't know that I was a brown girl. I would ask to go back to a time when I was playing with my toy farm animals, lining them up painstakingly one right after the other. I would ask him to send me back to the time when my neighbors would show up to our home with queso frito, pitaya, where we play culebra with the neighborhood kids, a time when speaking Spanish did not feel like painting a target on my own back, a time when being brown was just something everyone else was. I would ask God to take me back to a time when all I was worried about was if the vendor with the nieve would be back today, or if the store on the corner would have that American cereal that I liked because my parents had the money to afford it today. Because even when they couldn't afford American cereal, at least I could go back to my toy farm animals. At least then we knew we were being hunted. At least then the hunters knew what they were. It is the hunters that cannot admit what they are to themselves that are the deadliest. But I don't pray much these days. I have no need for this country's white Jesus, and the brown one I grew up learning about hasn't been seen around these parts for some time. So I update the prayer request asking for safe travels on that cruise, and the one asking for blessings on a daughter's move to her Ivy League college. Attach the updated prayer list to the email, sign my name, knowing it will still be misspelled and no one will care, because why should a brown girl's name matter anyways, when they have plenty of pictures of them surrounded by smiling brown kids to ignore the colonizer's eye staring back at them from the mirror. Thank you.
Right. She woke up today ready to poem. Give it up for Noelia.
Yes, Noelia.
Amazing.
Fucking love you, girl.
Thank you.
Love you.
Wow.
So phenomenal.
So
Every time.
amazing.
Every time.
Noelia Cerner, nevertheless, _ Noelia, give her a follow. Shout out to Nomadic Press, who also hosts their own open mic on Fridays. I know Haley's down with them too. Make sure you go check them out. I enjoy them. Shout out to Nas. Nas is everything. Love her. All right, next coming up, before I get to Alexander Goldberg, real quick, I'm seeing some people in here tonight who is not on the open mic list, but is coming to give love, like my man Thomas Connor. I see you there, Thomas. I appreciate you. Someone here named Chris Creative. I don't know who that is, but shout out to Chris. I've seen that you've been active, giving love to people. Terry Rose Jurtson, love her. She's a Phillies fan, nothing to be worried about. Nick Palea,
Okay, did Advocate freeze? I am your co-host, Ron. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, then let's go to the next one. And Alexander, let me unmute you. Alexander, are you there?
Of course I am there. Where else could I be?
Yay! See, Advocate got so scared of you. He's like, uh-oh, you know. So, all right,
All right.
he'll be right back. So, Alexander, you know the drill. Introduce yourself, and then go ahead, and you have 3 minutes to read your poem.
Okay, 3 minutes. The poem is called The Ballad of Otter. The otter wants to make the world a better place. There are so many people who know how to get it done. The otter makes mistakes. They're laughing in his face. They write in comment section how the otter got it wrong. But otter does not hide, and each of us must choose which way to go. We do not know where chosen path will lead. Some people may decide that they want to accuse. The otter goes his own way, even if it's dead-end street. The distant country is calm. It's always been his dream. He always dreamed to travel and live abroad, consume their goods. But it is not his fate. It seems like it's too late. He almost immigrated, but forever grew his roots. So many of his friends in Germany and France, the other writes them letters. They still talk from time to time. But one of them has said he had just one regret. He cannot clean the graves of both his father and his mom. So Otter went to fight. He can no longer write. He's fighting for his country. He is fighting in the East. Some prophets experts might say if he's wrong or right, when things are turning ugly, when the news will break the feast. The author writes again. He's labeled this and that. Some people hate his writing. They say that his rhymes are wrong. They always seem to get which is the best way, yet it doesn't sound exciting. They declare which way to turn. But Otter keeps his rhymes. He carries heavy load. He knows the value of his words. He knows they will not fade. He knows there will be triumphs, and there's no easy road. Some people might throw sticks and stones, but he is not afraid. I know the author's words. Being sidekick is much worse. I value their identity before anything else. But every person is a separate universe. It's something that I wish for every author to express. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for
Mr.
Alexander
Goldberg. Very nice. Thank you.
Nice.
Always so good to hear you.
The Goldberg, Horbensky. Make sure you give him a follow. Sorry I got booted out, but I'm glad I got back in time to hear all of Alexander's poem. And just so that y'all know, in case you didn't, he's a daredevil. We are going to go skydiving. I am so down to do that. We're going to talk. Thank you, Ron, for jumping in when Zoom booted me. I was trying to give shout outs to like Nick Paleologos, the cult leader. I guess the gods were upset with that. Shout out to Net Vega, who is going to be coordinating and having people bringing food to Hybrid on November 20th, along with Paul Conqueso. Shout out to Mia Aguilera, who is in bed and has promised not to cut me. We're friends again. She's from Brooklyn. She's giving us love. Abraham Kamani, there he is. I know he's been listening in, but he's like, oh, we giving shout outs. Let me put my video on. Let me show Advocate I've been growing my beard. I see you, Abraham. I see you. Appreciate you, brother. Finn Bell is also here. You guys got to check out Fincabulary. This woman's got her hands in a bunch of different cookie jars. And let us keep moving because now we have a new voice. Well, at least new to the Monday night, I believe. And that is Lo Bell. Right, Lo? This is your first time with us, correct?
Yes, it is my first time with you guys.
Awesome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lo Bell.
Where are you located?
I am in the Bronx, in New York.
Oh, BX. All right, Lo Bell. So have you been in the Bronx like for the last 2 years, at least the last 2 years?
Yes, I have.
Okay, great.
I've been here
We've been
for
doing the Monday night online open mic for 83 weeks in a row. Where have you been?
Doing other things.
Mondays is where you got to be. I'm just teasing you, Lo. So you see how everyone does it? Let us know where we can find you online, and then the floor is yours to share your poetry.
You can find me. You can find me on Instagram at I am Lo Bell. And I have entitled this poem, and it's new, so here we go. Mi piel de caramelo, my caramel skin. Mejor que un café con leche, better than a coffee with milk. Mis labios jugosos como una sandía, my lips juicy like a watermelon. My eyes resembling my Taino roots, soy Latina. I'm Latina. El sazón runs through my veins. Swiftly I move my hips to the quick tempos of the sound of salsa's drums. Man, bachata makes you fall in love with dancing with a stranger. Merengue, ooh, merengue. Don't forget the guira. I savor mango on occasion when I visit my mother. She made sure I learned my ABCs, one, two, threes, that I spoke English without an accent, unlike her broken English, which raised me. At home, she made sure I knew the 27, 28, 29, 30 letters of Spanish abecedario when you include the ñ, ch, ella, r, and where to put that tilde on a word. No exceptions. She encouraged me to speak French. Je ne sais pas compris, mais je t'aime toujours. She believed in my story. She birthed me, yet my experience different than hers. My days filled with city lights, hers with palm tree skies and ocean breeze. Her toes sank into the sand, the waves crashing into hers, while I made snowmans when the snow would fall 5 foot high. I savor mango on occasions when I visit my mother. El sazón runs through my veins. Swiftly I move my hips to the quick tempos of the sounds of salsa drums. Man, bachata makes you fall in love with dancing with a stranger. Merengue, ooh, merengue, don't forget the guira. Soy Latina, mi piel de caramelo. In a city full of lights where seasons change, rooted within palm trees and sunny skies, and the ocean close right behind. Thank you.
Ooh, unmute yourselves. Give
Hello,
some
Belle,
love to
beautiful.
Low
Thank you.
Bell.
Thank you.
One of us, one of us, one of us, one of us.
Yep, you too, Low. You see, Low, that's it. Every Monday night, you got to be here. We're going to forgive you for missing the first 82 weeks because you're going to be with us the next 82 weeks. Low Bell representing the Bronx and making everyone hungry. Low, make sure you go put your information into the chat so that the people can give you a follow. And shout out to Nas, who I didn't even know was here checking us out from Nomadic Press. So another shout out to Nomadic Press. She hit me up. I didn't even know she was here. Oh, the Beanie God is in the building. Shout out to Deadpan Lizzie, aka Elizabeth Strauss, when she is trying to get her rentals and sell apartments. Make sure you go check her out. Okay, now let's go to Mr. Paul Con Queso, the Honey Trap, or maybe just like Jeff Cottrell's evil twin, maybe this is Paul's evil twin without the hair, or vice versa. We're about to find out. Paul, where can we find you online or your twin brother? And then you got 3 minutes to rock.
At Paul Con Queso on IG and Linktree. I just came from teaching a workshop hosted by Robles Rights Productions called Mindful Masculinity, Balancing Male Divinity. I'm going to be holding the same workshop for those who identify as male for the next 2 weeks, November 8th and 15th. If anybody wants to join in on that, please follow me on IG at Paul Con Queso. Jump down the link tree and the link to register is there. I appreciate all of y'all. Show my chest hair to prove it's me. Here, it's there, Mia. I promise it hasn't all migrated away. All right. So I have a piece focusing on masculinity and mental health. I don't know, this has been heavy on my mind. So here's a piece I wrote over the last couple of days since I did a performance this past Saturday, focusing on today, which is Dia de los Muertos. It's called Gravity/Heavy. From the Latin gravitas, the universal force of attraction acting between all matter, it controls trajectories of all bodies and solar systems and elsewhere in the universe, and the structures and evolution of stars, galaxies, the whole cosmos. Really, on Earth, all bodies have a downward force of gravity. Gravity measured by the acceleration it gives to freely falling objects. The moons causes the tides of the oceans. Gravity has an infinite range, although its effects become weaker as objects get further away. Just ask apples falling from sky, like Newton's law. Anything can or will go wrong will fall. Just ask Murphy's law. And just this past Saturday night at the Ofrenda in La Marqueta, as I stood beside so many taken by age and many a medical genetic condition brought about after long bouts with life, I was reminded of my friend Lorenzo, we called Webster, whose life ended at his own behest precisely 5 years ago. He himself, 27 years old, so afraid to be other that he authored an early exit from his narrative. Dominican family said men don't go to therapy, so he ferried that weight on his own until one night that generational grenade pin pulled itself and blew up in his face. And it's so odd. His loss somehow reminded me of Lincoln Park, how not even Chester, with all his fame and notoriety, could persevere past the anxiety, depression, and heavy thoughts, the gravity of such unbearable lightness of window pane, lipped grip with noose tied tight around nape of neck, isthmus of Black Monday plunges from skyscrape windows, and I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. Choruses Heath Ledgering seems clever till you're Chris Cornelled in a coffin dropped from wuthering heights, and no free bass jump bass is too high, suspended in suspense, fingers clenching edge of ledge, teetering perhaps only to slip and drift and sink into the brink, becoming Red Sea upon black street of pavement beneath. Why is it that we men are expected to don masks of masculine, of I'm all right, even when tucked in at night into embodiments of living bodies that mangle flesh, that contort and dredge the depths? We are told to become the bullet, and yet when we go off, others act surprised as if all objects don't have the force of attraction acting on them. I'm holding on. Why is everything so heavy? Holding on. There's so much more than I can carry. I keep dragging around what's bringing me down. If I just let go, I'll be set free. I'm holding on. Why is everything so heavy? When I am light as a ton of down feathers, abrupt endings upended, we authors offer altars of our alternative selves, altered to make new quests, placenta in blender, make life endless, because death is not a sentence if you never choose to end it. So ellipses these words, the celestial offering falling faster than forces of nature, which want to pull me down into the ground. Whoa, gravity, stay the hell away from me. Oh, gravity is taking better men than me. But how could that be? Keep me where the light is. We know the only difference between a garden and a graveyard is what you choose to fill it with. And today I choose to live. I have authored and rewritten my own ending more times than I would like to admit. I have learned hard way. Survival is a mindset. The option to go on, a choice you make every day. My hope for you is you keep holding on to that ledge, regardless how challenging the grip can be. My hope is that you can be the one that doesn't have to author your own ending. Plant that seed, keep watering, fighting, beat back the starry things. The moon's pulling tides to swallow your tiny being, because the thought of losing you too to this gravity is a thought I can't comprehend. Keep on authoring, because life without your story would be far too heavy.
Unmute yourselves. Give some love to the house.
Paul,
Nice, brother. That was nice.
Yes,
That
yes.
was so
Coming at you.
good.
Coming at you. Coming at you.
Oh, here, Kevin. Thank you.
Paul con queso. Make sure when you give him a follow, when you spell Paul con queso, that's with a Q. Queso. Make sure you go give him a follow. He will be rocking out on Hybrid on November 20th. And I am sure he will have some liquor, because the only time I drink is when Paul puts it in my hair. Paul con queso, give him a follow. Shout out to Mr. Speaker, who I see just joined us. The general in the building. Love that dude. Next coming up is, get ready, because this dude is always a treat. Our brother in Japan, Poetak. Let me unmute him.
Hi, I don't
My
get.
man, how
Nice
are you?
Nice to see you again. This is all my account. Tonight's theme is author. I want to read the author of New Yorker's slogan, Allen Ginsberg. The New Yorker is the most integrated place in this planet. I want to read a tribute to Ginsberg. Title is just whole. Subtitle is for our internet generation. So I hope you all love it. Let's get started. Oh, for our internet generation. I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by cell phones, stabbing through info, friend, partner, dragging themselves through the walkway, watching at the palm-sized screen, and hit the pause of the people to fight with them. Who computerically, politically, psychopathologically hollow-eyed and thinking about how to conquer this world with guns or Pikachu. Who sank all day long in the meditational submarine and finally came across the guru and trying to propagate their religion through social media, kindling fear of Armageddon, or be more proud, isolated, static statue of Buddha, who vanished into starvation in front of Starbucks, no bugs, but full of imaginary luck in a sleeping bag in the park, who listen to Eagles with taking capsules and shouting amigo to dream that they bury themselves into many goals, who wanted, painted, wrapped their own bodies to come to their laptops, lonely viewing halls, who giggle or get angry to Google their ex-boy or girlfriend or ex-husband or wife's happy or unhappy blogs. Oh my! Who can't help committing suicidal eating, masturbation, intercourse, investments for covering up their physical, mental, and financial debts in this pandemic. Who sat on a luxury coach counting sales of his group to suddenly realize that his beautiful but capricious wife, another close group leader, no doubt sleep with, and rose up to shut with Glock 19. Who dropped watching the car navigation, aiming to the beach, but because of too much their subservience to machine, unfortunately or unfortunately, they dropped from the dock and never came back. And we rise reincarnate in the ghostly clothes of little shadow to blue the suffering of pandemic people's sham brains and bodies, echoing mantras with the absolute heart of the poem of the battered out of the lockdown cities. Good night, sweet boy. Good night, sweet boy. Thank you so much.
Are not worthy. We are not worthy.
Yes, I'm
That
not.
was amazing.
Masterpiece.
Amazing.
Wow.
So fine, Poetic on YouTube. Brother, make sure you put your information in the chat so that the people can follow you. He is on Twitter and Instagram at Poetic50. Go give this man some love and a follow. Love having him here. Also, someone had come in, Frog Corpse. I don't know how long he's been here, but Frog Corpse is here. That dude is an awesome poet. He rocked out last week. Hopefully he rocks next week because, of course, because we understand the popularity of the open mic, people can't rock out in consecutive weeks. So hopefully Frog Corpse rocks out. Midnight, are you there? Before we go, I want to our next poet. Our next poet is Lisa Acevedo. We're going to get to her. Midnight, are you there? Are you there? Put your video on if you're there. If you're not, all right, we'll speak to you later. If you hear me, hit me up in the chat. But right now, without further ado, we're going to a woman who's been dying to get on. Had some trouble a couple weeks ago, but I'm happy we got her on, and that is Lisa Acevedo. You made it. You're on. I saw your name. I was so happy. Lisa, where are you located?
I'm in Westchester, actually.
Oh, okay. You're
exciting. But
you're Bronx adjacent.
But I've lived in the Bronx, so
Oh,
I've only been in Westchester for a few years, so
Oh, okay. You
let's
still
not
got
get
the
it
Bronx in
twisted.
you.
Let's not get it twisted. Yeah.
All right, no doubt. All right, Lisa, let the people know where they can find you online, and then you got 3 minutes to share your poetry.
Sure. It's actually Liza, but that's okay. That's okay. It's okay.
Don't cut me. I know
Because
how we are from the Bronx. Don't cut me, okay, Liza? Okay, don't
I'm not
cut me.
gonna.
Okay, thank you.
I'm originally from Long Island, so I wouldn't cut you, and I would just sue you. So.
Oh, well, you can't now. My girlfriend's a lawyer. I don't know if you know my girlfriend.
Oh yeah, no,
It's a
yeah.
running joke I got. But go
It's a
ahead. I'm
running
sorry.
joke.
Go ahead, Liza.
Okay, that's okay. On Facebook, it's just Liza Acevedo, and on Instagram, it's at Acevedo Olacevo. But I'll put it in the chat. This is the second poem I've ever written in my entire life, and I'm 46 years old, I think. So here we go. I miss you. I miss your warm and so very gentle embrace. I miss the way you used to wipe the tears from my face. I miss your hugs. I miss your laughter while watching the Golden Girls and all the shows that came after. I miss the way those cat-eye glasses would rest upon your face. I miss our continental breakfasts with graham crackers and butter. Oh, and those rainbow sandwiches that were just like no other. I miss you, but I know you're here because sometimes I feel that you are near. I'm not scared because you prepared me. You told me you would always be there. So until I see you again, I miss you. That's it.
Unmute yourselves. Give Liza
Beautiful.
some love.
Beautiful. Your second
Lovely.
poem, incredible. Thank you.
One
Thank you for
of
sharing.
us. One of us. One of us.
You're one of us now, Liza. You have to come back every Monday, hang out with us, even when you're not rocking. And because you're one of us now, technically, according to the bylaws of this cult, and our cult leader will back it up, you're not allowed to sue me, okay? Just want to let you know that you can't. Liza Acevedo, I will never get that name wrong. Although my girlfriend who was here, Mariela Salazar, was in the chat like, Ed, let's do it. This will be fun. Let's do it. Because last week I was making all these jokes about I'm gonna have her sue everyone. She wants to sue everyone. So that was the joke. Liza Acevedo, it's a pleasure to welcome you into the community. Make sure that you stick around. All right, real quick, let's get into this because I'm not gonna take too long with this and then we're gonna move on. 2 venues, 1 mic. I had mentioned Mariela Salazar before. She had dropped the seed, the idea in my head, and we started working it out. She's done a lot of the grunt work as well. We are going to be starting this on November 14th. We're looking to make this a monthly series, though we're probably going to skip December, but we are starting with Paris. This is how it goes. Everything we're doing is built off the Monday night online open mic. This community has been super powerful and super generous and all of that. And I've been thinking like, all right, how can we expand upon this? The energy is there, the crowd is there. That is when we came up with the hybrid open mic. Because things are starting to open up. We get some people into the cafe, but people on Zoom still get to participate. Now, who gets to rock in hybrid? All the people who are here on the Monday night online open mic, because the hybrid open mic is a curated open mic list. And we want to make sure that hybrid is being fed by the Monday night online open mic. I want to look out for y'all first. Of course, eventually we're going to open the doors to others. But the preferential treatment, as far as I'm concerned, is going to go to this community that has empowered me. So I just feel it's right, like, yo, first dibs, right? So the hybrid open mic, that is what we're going to do with 2 venues and 1 mic, all right? So if you have come to the hybrid open mic, if you've performed, if you've been in the audience, if you've, like, whatever you have done to help improve upon the hybrid open mic and be part of it, this is where I want to take it to the next level. 2 venues, 1 mic, share you with the world, go on a virtual tour of sorts across the world. We're hoping to build like this huge, like, network across the entire planet. So then let's say when one of you may be going to another country, we could be like, hey, so-and-so is going to be in your neck of the woods. They're part of our community. They should be able to rock out there. And this way we can just keep growing more and more and more. And that is the hope with 1. And there's so much involved with it. Like we're doing London in January, Princeton, speaking with South Florida, the Bay Area's gotten involved, which is another really interesting thing because across the world, I know that we have people who participate in the Monday night online open mic. And some of you can't get to the cafe. But what I'd like to be able to do is when speaking with these venues across the world, if I know that some of our members are in that area, to speak with them to say, hey, I got a couple of poets in that area who are really awesome. I'd like them to rock in 2 venues, 1 mic, but at your venue, like the Bay Area. A couple of you are from the Bay Area. Okay, so that is what we're hoping to do with all of that. Because a lot of people saying, well, how can I get onto the curated list for two venues, 1 mic? Speak to me at hybrid. How can I get in hybrid? You're already here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Hit me up. Let me know if you're available. Because what we also do is that we don't want people to rock at the hybrid in consecutive months. We're looking to open it up to as many people to rock as possible. So hit me up. Come to hybrid, November 20th. With that being said, let us continue rocking on. And next is, Isaac Salazar. Where's Isaac? He rocked out with us 2 weeks ago, and Isaac killed it. There's Isaac. I'm so happy Isaac is back.
Hi.
Mr. Salazar, it is good to see you. Let the people know they can find you online. And you got 3 minutes to kill it, brother.
Thank you. I'll put my one social at the end of my reading, but thank you so much for the opportunity again. I'll be reading 2 poems today. First one is called On Being the Neighborhood Patriotic, and it starts like this. There are moments in your room when you come back with your scrapbook and show me your Vietnam War from the foxhole where, Kalashnikov rifle in hand, you scoot closer and reckon my enlisting in a blighted battle that already happens on the floor of my room. You're able to enter because my mom likes your perennial borders and my dad says you're a mulch enthusiast. On the Italian tile, your tan soldiers stand staunch and sturdy against the onslaught of my overused olive green counterparts, whose barbed wire unravels, fortifications feed bullet holes, and M16s melt onto bodies and distort faces like the yellow-green raincoat you wear in the wet when you lower the American flag in salutation for your brothers and for Paula, because touting American exceptionalism is beauty in the eye of the beholder. You are nothing but an example. But you don't show the days, you steal my mom's rebozo and stuff it in my arms like you stuff your fat white tongue in my mouth. You wrap your wrinkly arms around the earth as you puncture and penetrate us with your shredded bark. That's what you do as you press your thumbs on our chest to try to stem us from stemming, as if that could arrest the budding and the growing up and out of your cookie cutter unit like a dainty painted lady with mangled cracks in concrete. Through crevice, we spur polychromatically, angry botany from the same branch structure, the same species, the same story. And the next one I have is called I Tame Fuzzy Naked Pink Bodies. Summer lakes at LBJ get caution tape. The case of the white boy who was eaten by lachrymose leeches. The local boatswain says they jump and leap out of the water in formation of aquacades like dolphins. They are blind, guided, untamed, detached from the caress of human hands that lure by plucking strings and tracing the jagged of their small jaws with tears. 6 rows, bare 30 flat top, rough surface teeth. Double-decker spamwich, sweaty. My mom tells me to wait 30 minutes before swimming, but I don't listen. I tell my cousins I can tame them. I swim to the middle of the lake, sitting duck, facade to cover my feet, kicking in attempts to make pools babble, ripple, and trickle as I cry. Mom was right, arms as flimsy as human swimming noodle. A slither to kiss with mild nettle stings and drill into the soles of my feet. My feet used to feed inland pebbles and broken soda glass. Blood leaks like red smoke flare. Didn't you ask for this? They undressed their black cloaks and trudged through my body in procession till they refuge in my thighs. fuzzy feeling, isn't it? More keep coming, more fuzziness that makes you itch and regret letting the door open for fuzzy, naked pink bodies, for striking chords that sweeten the vibrations through their skin. They react and feast on the spam of your thighs where all of your food goes. They are at peace there. Thank you.
That was amazing. Unmute
Thank you,
yourself,
Isaac.
give it up
Great
for
reading.
Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac.
So good.
Wonderful reading.
So great.
Yes.
Shit.
Lacrimose laces.
Isaac Allison. He's gotten addicted. Isaac's going to be back again, I believe. Isaac, make sure you put your info in the chat so people can copy and paste it and give you a follow. Appreciate you. Shout out to the Withdrawn. I see he just came in to check out. What's going on, brother? I hope all is well with you. Shout out to Tabitha also, who's watching. BX in the house. Love it. Also to someone named Giselle Almonte, who joined us. She joined us a little late, but she's been here listening. I appreciate you, Giselle. Thank you. And Chris Creative asked when the New Eurekan Poets Cafe is going to be open. The cafe itself is not opening just yet. I haven't been given a date, but I am doing shows that are technically working around the rules. But I don't want to say how I'm technically working around the rules because then they're going to change the rules because of what I'm doing. So, Chris, once things open up again, like fully, I will be one of the many people who would be screaming it from the mountaintop. Until then, if you're looking to get inside the cafe, gotta give me a follow. I know the way in. All right, next coming up, we're going out to the Philippines with Indigo Pie. Wait, where'd Indigo? There she is. Let me unmute Indigo Pie, who hasn't rocked on here in a while. What's up, Indigo? How are you?
What's up?
Let the people know where they can find you online, and you got 3 minutes to rock out.
Alright. Magandang umaga. Good morning. I am Indigo Pie from the Philippines. You want to feed me and the cat that's meowing right now? That's my PayPal. I'm on a social media break because I'm working on my book. Nakabili na. But yeah, follow me anyway. I'll be back on social media at some point. Yes, Mr. Congreso. We're hustling out here. Food is expensive. So because our topic is author, I am going to honor one of my favorite human beings. This is Hiwag. Sorry, I didn't.
There you go.
This is Sunday here by Teresa de Jesus, or as a lot of you may know her, Miss Pin Mel. So I'm going to read from, yeah, my cat is on something else there. It's Long Rivers. Isolation sought in the sea of faces found. You rooted me out. I demurred you. Persistent. Repetition wins out. Novelty wears quick. My temper is a certain death. I implore you leave. Your tenacity grounds me. Your tenacity saves me. We have built a life. I am the yin to your yang. We have found comfort on good days. It equals joy. Other days are bottomless. Co-conspirators, we must see this to the end. Do not muse over the subtlety of union. There is no better or worse. After that poem is, I think that at some point, the intricacies of what is prevalent between you and I will set a fruit on a tree blossoming quite readily. Eventually, the subtleties become hard to ignore, but even on the days when the waves are threatening to overpower the shore, when it's starting to become a tsunami, it will be you and me, having breakfast, having our coffee in the morning. Nothing is too difficult. Nobody is too insufferable for me to deal with as long as I have you there. Some kind of vacancy, some kind of imaginative twisted cinnamon bun of morning. And that's it. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give some love to Indigo
Yeah,
Pie.
way to go, Indigo. They're also lovely creatures. Thank you.
Nice. Indigo Pie, go give her a follow. And shout out to the extra production. of her cat in the background. You saw that, right? Like she tried to like politely and gently like kick the cat. Like, shut up! I'm doing my poetry. Shut! I caught that. This is one of the great things about doing Zoom poetry. It's because like we all got our stuff to deal with behind the scenes, and sometimes we have to juggle. Indigo Pie Poetry. Make sure you go give her a follow. So Rob Seeger is supposed to be next. I don't see a Rob Seeger. So Rob, if you were here, hit me in the chat or hit Ron MT in the chat to let us know you're here. Otherwise, we're going to go to my man who's in upstate New York, Daniel Villegas, who I believe said you were, I think I read somewhere you working on an album.
Yeah. A bilingual album.
Oh, that's what's up, brother. That's what's up. That's what you bring to that's the flavor you bring to this community, what you did last time. I appreciate it. So real quick, let the people know where they can find you online so they could follow up on all this. And you got 3 minutes to kill it. Go ahead.
Perfect. Daniel Villegas Music on Instagram. And I actually wrote for this. So another thing was author. So I wrote a piece for that. It's called Soy un autor, which means author in Spanish. It goes like this. I can begin to tell you how I can wrap the universe in one single phrase. How I can pull the stars down from the sky and blast like a sonic boom into hyperspace. But I don't think you might believe me unless I show you my spaceship. On a rocket, I can soar like an eagle. Actually, more like float because gravity tends to disappear when the gravity button is pressed. So un autor, I'm an author. A prolific pretenses and symbolic metaphorical prefixes that leave audiences marveled. And my novels, I can write poems to tell stories of how the superhero character can rhyme so fast, you swore he was talking in some type of ET language, but that's the joy of writing. I can transport myself onto the page and see it take life like some three-dimensional storybook. My pop-up art comes from the character's ability to freestyle and beatbox. Could you imagine what could happen if sound moved objects? Well, you don't have to go very far. Most pyramids around the world were created with some type of instrument that moves both sound and space. And my instrument is my body, so I tune to it, shifting my mind and expanding my imagination to bring you this piece. I was mocked as a child, made fun of because I didn't know English, the English language very well. I was too Indian looking for some, too short for others, too Spanish, too cute, well, too much. But when it came down time to write, I transformed like a transformer into a superhero with rhyming abilities. I guess that's why I've decided that I'm a walking algorithm, a walking drum that sets musical interludes to those I meet. My pen is my wand, and like a magician, I pull words out of the air and create substance or subjects. The sun is sung by the suns. I look towards the sky and I see images, creatures, books being written by the heavens themselves. All I do is say what I see. Can you picture? A cloud that passes as a cloud, but then shifts into a dragon. And all of a sudden, a dragon rider appears, and the castle was built to meet them. In the sky, twirling like little Italy. At the bottom of the castle, there is a door, but the only way you can get in there is not with some magic beanstalk, though Latinos are known for making the bean suffice. I'm talking about creating a deep sound from your chest that sends a vibration to the door, and it opens. Booyaka! And that's the secret word to manifest in this realm. But you can't tell anyone, because if you do, I'm writing things into existence. My spiral notebook is the earth, and I'm digging into her for inspiration. So I go so deep that thought itself becomes profound. I touch down like sundials, like Shanghai or Shanghai. I write to vent my tongue line, because if I let it go, there's no telling what I would say. But for now, I just write a story through this poem so you can get away into your own enchanted world where your pen is the wand and your imagination is the author. So un autor.
Yaka, unmute yourselves, give it
Oh,
up.
nice.
Daniel,
So good.
you better set it off right.
Go with the word.
Thing with the words was lit.
Daniel's been a beast. I've had the pleasure of not only sharing the stage with him, but seeing him rocking on stage. Make sure you go give him a follow. Check out this new album. Hopefully we get him into the city soon, man, so y'all can feel that energy in person. Daniel, yeah, guys, put your info into the chat, brother, so people know where to follow you. All right, let's keep it moving, man. I love Monday nights, I swear. Next coming up, I saw him riding in a car. I hope he's ready to rock. Oh, there he is, Mr. Julian Matthews. Julian, it's always a pleasure to hear you. Let the people know where they can find you online, and you got 3 minutes to share your poetry, brother.
You can find me on Linktree, Julian Matthews.
So this is called Why I Poet. I used to be a journalist dealing with facts, lending voice to the voiceless, as they say. Now I write to hear my own troubled voice without having to document the dead under deadline, without the need to fill white space in black ink under a headline, without an editor over my shoulder to cut me down. All this blood and tears now spilled on this page are my own. My weapon of choice in my peace pipe is now poetry. Bars break, stanzas bleed, verses burn. It hurts. But when you take the brave steps towards it, it's like striding towards the midday sun. The shadow shrinks and you feel the heat, and momentarily you shine on the streets. And on very rare days, you feel at one with the only star we call our own. But I don't believe in the adage, you are the author of your life. For karma always finds way to cut you like a knife. My poems may be a mirror, but you can sense they are the cracked reflections through this broken lens. If I stare them down, sometimes they peer right back at me. I'm a nomad in search of my deepest fears. Across the savannah, breach boundaries put in the years. The future yanks me up the mountains by my nose, even as my past coils around my feet like a noose. At some point on that hill, I make a stand, and the story of my life catches up with the man. When a poem emerges, I can run but cannot hide. I can play dead, but it will not let me slide. I can bow at its altar, partake of its Eucharist, or wait for my conversion at my eulogy. So I've stopped the hide and seek with this thing with wings, and just abide and heed its calling. I drum to its beat, signaling distant others of its connective cadence. I try to reproduce the notes of its ancient healing rhythms. Sometimes it demands to be both singer and the song. Some nights I just give in to its will and let it ride me until it's had its fill. I melt in its music that's so sick, and in the end it writes me, then sets me free. You see, I poet so I can be one with my poem. I poet so I can know the unknown. I poet so I know I'm not alone. I poet so we all know we are not alone. Thank you.
Ooh, unmute yourselves. Give some love to Julian Matthews.
Always phenomenal.
Good.
Always phenomenal.
Julian, amazing.
Words of a poet, being a poet. Yeah.
I so love this dude's writing. Our brother out in Malaysia, so you know he's getting up early to hang with us. Julian Matthews, you can go find him on Linktree. Give him a follow. Julian, thank you as always. He got to rock out at our last hybrid event. It was dope. We got to see him on the big projector. I love it. I love this community. Next coming up, folks, when I said there's no censorship, I was preparing you for our next man. Now I'm joking. Mr. Ed Poetastic. Ed, you there? You there, Ed? There he
Yeah, I'm
is.
there with so much care to share.
Yeah, my man. Love this dude. Love this dude. You never know what you can get with him. Representing the DC area, right?
Yep, DC. Feeling
DC.
free, man at ease.
There you go, Ed. You know the deal. Good seeing you, brother. Floor is yours.
Good to see you, my brother, from another mother. Thank you for helping one another. All right. Hey, Advocate. Nice to see you. Glad you're in the Potastic Blue. Never forget, keep pushing through, and we love you. All right. If you want to know more about me, DM me. You'll see. Okay. This is called Dear Author. Dear Author, can you weave another page if you have the time? Something new inside the cage, more sweet than grime. Some new people are staged with surprises and chimes. Something to feed the age and gauge. Please, no grimes or slimes. Both feed my burning rage. Please make it happy and sublime. A little sunlight in the daily haze. It can get blindly dark sometimes. Facing the boring inner days is a real constant daily crime of facing bittersweet days. Some taste like apples or limes, going to zigzag ways. I do hate the random climbs. No, you should be praised. I know this story isn't mine. If so, it'll be artistic play. Everything would cost a dime, and no work on Fridays. Everyone will enjoy their lifetimes. No more regrets or betrays. Sorry, I got lost in my rhymes. But could you add a few lines? That'll be A-okay.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Ed Poetastic, y'all.
Nice ending there, Fantastic. Yeah.
Yes, Poetastic.
Love to hear you.
Was dope.
Fantastic.
Loving the freestyle openings. Actually, that's how I had started getting into rhyming and writing, was freestyles. Listen, you want to become a better writer? Work on your freestyle game. It so helps, because then if you're constantly doing that, then when you have time to sit and actually write and think of a line, it helps. And it helps you find your rhythm too. Really helps. But nonetheless, follow Ed Foreman. Go give that dude a follow. Next coming up is a man we haven't heard from in a while, LaVon Robinson. Wait, I just saw him. There he is. LaVon, are you there?
Yes.
There we go. There we go. Haven't seen you in a while. I hope all is well, brother. Let the people know where they can find you online, and you got 3 minutes to rock out.
Okay. I am on Instagram, Lala the Poet, and LaVon Robinson on Facebook. So I didn't know it was a prompt, right? So, but I do have a nice poem. So it's called it's deep. So it's called Swept Under the Rug. Tensions among the races are razor thin, and a simple sneeze can cause for the eruption of more hatred that's deeply layered within. Instead of coming to terms and dealing with the issue as a whole, we find it much easier to sweep it under the rug with all the others, and it over time festers and eats away at the essence of the soul. There is nothing here we face on the grounds of our home we can't humanly fix. We just have to put positive energy into it and not let negative emotions and actions get all up in the mix. We sit back and talk a good game, but when it comes to manifest, we're all out of frame. The picture that's presented daily represents the effort or lack thereof. Living, unfortunately, in a world perpetrated by hatred, indifference, equality, racism, selfishness, and division instead of acceptance, equality, goodwill, tolerance, selflessness, and most of all, the positive advancement based on the divine principles of unconditional love and peace.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to LaVon Robinson.
That was a deep piece. Deep piece.
LaVon Robinson. Make sure that you put all your info in the chat so that people can give you a follow, LaVon. I hope all is well, man. Make sure you stick around. Next coming up, because we had a couple of people had to drop out the last second, it opened up some room for me, and we're able to add in Douglas G. Carla. Let me unmute Douglas. Are you getting it? Are you getting the sign?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks, guys. All right.
There we go. Wait, I think you've rocked one time with us before, or no? Are you just able to come check it out? Okay.
I have. Yeah.
I thought you have. All right, cool, Douglas. Let the people know where they can find you online, and you got 3 minutes to rock.
All right. You can find me at Douglas G. Cala, C-A-L-A on Facebook, and Twitter is at DOUGCALA, at Doug Cala. And let me spit this. Okay. We are becoming one with machine, teetering ever closer toward technological singularity. Elon Musk said it best, we are already cyborgs, glued to our devices as we continuously answer the world's most confounding questions. One with machine we are. The great futurists have already predicted this eons ago. If we were to have a fighting chance with AI, it might be better to join them like members of the Enterprise, assimilating with the Borg. Or perhaps we should unite our dissonant factions to fight the spread of this, treating it like a malignant cancer that hasn't yet metastasized. There is still hope. I decide to open up an unmarked envelope addressed to me. It reads, proceed with caution. It unveils itself as a letter from my future self, a person with the great vantage point of prophecy. I reseal the document and store it away for future understanding. Google's assistant proceeds to tell me to expect hail and thunderstorms. It also tells me the day that I will surrender my biological self to make way for the next phase of my evolution. A pod opens up beside me. It invites me in by secreting the most soothing pheromones, as if to successfully take control of the part of my brain that controls perception and navigation. My mortal coil finally releases. Thanks.
Ooh, unmute yourselves. Give some love to Douglas.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Douglas.
No, that was lit. Good stuff.
Appreciate it.
Right.
Welcome back.
Right.
Douglas, you can't be a stranger anymore, man. You gotta come around, hang out with us more on Monday nights. You hear me? Then you come hang out with us at Hybrid too. All right. We slowly opening up the cafe. Like I said, well, the cafe is closed, but I know my way in. Make sure that you'll go give Douglas G a follow. Better come back, Douglas. You hear me? You better come back. The people now know where to find you online. They're gonna haunt you. All right. We're gonna get you, Douglas. We're gonna get you if you don't come back. Douglas G. Collar, go give him a follow. Next coming up is the woman who protects me from being able to say whatever I want on an online open mic that's being broadcasted all around the world, because no one's gonna be able to sue me because she's an awesome lawyer, and that is Mariela Salazar. Hi, baby. How are you? Let the people know where they can follow you online, but not slip into your DMs. And you got 3 minutes to rock out. Go ahead.
Made by Mariella, or advocate of Wordz. I'm kidding. Sorry. This poem is called My Philippines, and I literally just dug it up. It's an old poem that I wrote because I was feeling very homesick. I thought I'd recite it. Okay. Pearl of the Orient Sea, desired and coveted, colonized and invaded, and yet here I am, a distant shore away, speaking in the tongue of those that conquered you, writing a letter in a language you know, but that is not yours, for I no longer know how to speak to you. My Philippines, so foreign to me, what words can satiate the malignant cancer bruised and colonized by your own? A treason of the deepest red, a virus silently marching left, right, left, until I can no longer recognize the very cell that makes you, my Philippines, the pearl of the Orient Sea, and seas of fists washing away the shores of freedom and the tides of change that revolution after revolution promised. What identity is left when that other was gone and we were no longer enslaved? What identity is left but to enslave oneself, to forever chain our history of freedom to that of another? Magellan did send a boat and Lapu-Lapu fought him away, but now we are accessories to foreign fleets built in our own seas. Is this ignorance or slavery? Touch me not was the cry, but when you are packed like sardines, a choice has to be made to survive a slave or to die free. For we were always socially distanced by village gates, Spanish blood, and Philippine pesos, saved only by the busting noises and the feverish heat that ignited an island, slowly burning its people alive. So we tied yellow ribbons around old oak trees, and we finally found the words to speak. We were snatched at a voice that would let us reach beyond the fragile sense of unity in search of an identity that was as briefly punctuated by sentences that ran incomplete. For I myself write with great hypocrisy. I do not wish to die in your embrace, nor to dim tyrants with my courage, but my heart still bleeds as strongly as the ink on my pen for the land of the morning that might never see the rising sun. Thanks.
Mute yourselves, give some love.
Beautiful,
Mariela
Mariela.
Salazar.
So dope.
That was incredible.
Love it.
Good stuff, Marielle.
Really, really beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mariela Salazar, you can find her at made by Mariella. Make sure you go give her a follow. Show that woman some love. She is working hard with these 2 venues, one mic. I mean, we're talking Berlin and Australia and Kenya. Like, she's going wild with it. And yeah, I don't think I'm allowed to mention that Vice may be coming to cover it, right? Like, I shouldn't mention that. Like, right? She's looking at me like, I'm gonna sue you. Made by Mariella. Make sure that you give her a follow. So before we close up, I want to give Ron Mark Thompson an opportunity once more to let the people know they can find him online. And then after Ron, I think I'm gonna spit a little poem because we got some time. And then after that, we are going to have Noelia Cerna close us out with the Good Night Sweet poem. With that being said, Ron, tell the people they can find you online.
Oh my God, I'm looking forward to that. We're getting a treat, a poem from you. That's amazing. So thank you again for allowing me to be your tech co-host on the back end. I love the theme author. Allow me, I penned 3 quick lines myself, just got inspired, just very quickly. I'm surrounded by so many inspiring authors who write. They motivate me to pen my lines. They make each of my days bright. I'm surrounded with my fellow poets in the same virtual room. Thank you for having made me an author in chasing away my own stomach's butterflies in Zoom. And there is more, but I'll do that another time. Thank you so much. I'm Ron Mark Thompson, and my organization Bronx Art and Fun Up at BXAFH. And everyone, please keep coming back here every Monday and Thursday, and 2-1 and hybrid open mic, and the 5 other projects that Advocate hasn't even told you about because he can only release 1 at a time, you know. So okay. All right, let's hear from you, Advocate.
Thank you, Ron. Yeah, I actually have a bunch of things in the pipeline that I can't talk about yet. And of course, like, I don't want to do too much at once. So make sure that y'all give Ron a follow. So with that being said, I think I've rocked this before. I have rocked this at Princeton, and it felt really good to do so. And so this is called Still Screaming. I've got a muse that never counts sheep, and a pen that hears dog whistles and neutrons beep. An internal clock that is anxious and dyslexic, but I got a hookup with a doorman at a black hole nexus. Yo, I'm crazy, I'm deranged, I'm a tormented artist. Soliloquies are more than cathartic. I'll keep speaking in metaphors regardless of how many open mics and theaters close their doors. I am no longer worried about being written into the lores. I'm just saying, I can't stop hooting and howling and hollering like thunder. My thoughts can't be muffled or pacified. They refuse to go unuttered. They must shout and scream and wail and bellow. They refuse to whisper or be reticent or low-key or mellow. Giving me downers is like turning up the bass. If I can't be heard, I'll shake up the fucking place. Because the only cages kids should be in is for baseball practice. Not in a border, an island, or in a machine in the upper stratus. I think it'd be common sense for you too to fight for freedom of speech. Because one day you too can have rhetoric that is considered an overreach. So how can I muzzle my muzzle or yip my lip when we still got so far to go to get what we get? I'm still screaming. So that's my poem, Still Screaming. I'm part of a group called El Grito de Poetas, which means the scream of poets. So I appreciate the snap scene there. So make sure you follow the New Rican Poets Cafe on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Instagram. Got a lot of awesome things coming. Make sure you give me a follow at Advocate of Wordz when you spell words as what a Z at the end. That is why I said Liza, I said Lisa, because I used the Z as an S. I'm sorry, Liza, it will never happen again. But with that being said, as tradition, because you have heard my voice all night, we like to close with someone from the community. And I know that we got her from the Nomadic Press community, and she's very much a part of that, but she's part of our community too. We love her. And that is Noelia. Noelia, you got the poem? You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, take us home, sis.
All right. So incredibly honored. Thank you, Advocate. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting the spirit of Miguel Algarin into your home. This has been the Monday Night Online Open Mic, presented by the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, hosted by Advocate of Wordz. On behalf of the community tonight, I, Noelia Serna, would like to say, good night, sweet poet.